my question to being is, how do we balance this Agni in our physiologies so that our physiologies function within the electromagnetic spectrum in such a way as to promote invincibility? You have to understand, this has been a question that's come up. Fairfield is receiving its smart meters, even now, even today. Fairfield's, Iowa is receiving its smart meters, and I just found out today that Korea, and of course I'm behind on the news, but that Korea will be receiving 5G this summer, the whole country. So for those who are electromagnetically sensitive, that's not good news. And how do we create invincibility in our physiologies that produce electromagnetism, the pumping of the heart, the movement of the nervous system? We produce electromagnetic energy. They call bioelectric energy, right? That radiates from the physiologies. How do we work with this energy in such a way as to promote the ability to function within absolutely any type of magnetic field and successfully come out stronger and more invincible and healthier? It's all just, if we have to go down to that level that's deeper than the electromagnetic. We have to go down to that consciousness level. And what we're doing is I'm looking at that Agni, that first flow of Agni. So Agni is a spectrum, right? It resides as an aspect of consciousness folding in on its own nature, but it also exists as the fire of metabolism in the body at the more dense end of its expression. So we've got a range. So we need to figure out where the imbalance crops into this expression of Agni in the physiology. And as I'm looking out into our group, I'm seeing with everybody it's a slightly different spot. Some people's Agni is balanced up to like the astral level or the emotional level or the mental level. And then other people, the Agni is balanced down at the causal level, but when it gets to the emotional level, is not so balanced. So we've all got different levels of balance of Agni within the spectrum of our physiologies. And I'm asking being, what do we need to do with regards to energy healing? Like, where do we need to focus our collective attention for everyone and everyone on Earth, and not just us, but our microbiome and all the plants and animals? Because, you know, we've got about a year and 5G is going to be everywhere. So how do we organize ourselves? And how do we organize the Agni and the physiology to be so balanced, to be such a perfect expression of divinity itself, that our physiologies, not just our physiologies, but all the living beings' physiologies, are able to maintain and function in the optimal manner, in spite of any sort of changes that come down the line in our electromagnetic environment? That's the question. I'm just asking being, because I don't know the answer. But it's my privilege and joy to ask in your presence and to find out the answer. So as I drop the question into the field of my own inner silence, our source, everyone's source, and seeing that spectrum of how the Agni becomes out of balance at different points along the spectrum, depending on the individuals. And one of the things I'm seeing is that the spectrum in more complex organisms like humans and larger animals is wider, and the spectrum is smaller in smaller beings like bacteria and our microbiome and plankton, you know, all the different smaller. So what is the answer that's coming back is that it's more important for us right now, because we've got different types of spectrums going on, for our healing collective to focus in on those simpler forms first, and particularly because they are fundamental to all the more complex forms. right? The life of our microbiome is fundamental to the life of our bodies, and the plankton are fundamental to the entire food chain in the oceans and so forth. So if we go in at the smaller spectrum, it also is easier for us as humans right now, where we are with our own energy healing capabilities, to look at that spectrum first. So I'm saying, okay, so we go and we look at the smaller spectrum. And we're looking at Agni in its most primordial, like fundamental form. And in its fundamental form, it is the light at the beginning of the creative process. It's the light at the beginning of the manifestation process. So at that level, we can enjoy it as in terms of its energy frequency. And its energy frequency at that level is like that vision of all possibilities, a kind of enthusiastic investment in the manifestation of reality. I think that's a good word to describe it. The enthusiastic investment in the manifestation of reality. So it's like enthusiasm and impetus and intention. Is intention in there? Even intention is present in those very fine, the smaller, the microorganisms of our world. So what's happening is, in our healing collective, I'm experiencing in everyone's heart chakra, there's a kind of an expansion of a sweet, supportive, loving, almost nurturing expression of self, which is flowing from our beautiful, big healing collective out to the world's microorganisms. And I'm also seeing behind that flow, and that flow, of course, is manifested in our bodies at kind of the causal level of creation, but behind it, there's also an energy that's, for us as humans, more or less produced more at the solar plexus area, and that's a kind of like a gumption that's behind that flow. And the gumption is very, very similar, or in nature, to the quality of Agni in its primordial form, which is that investment in the exuberant investment in the manifestation, right? So it's like that. It's that type of energy. It's basically an Agni energy that's being produced by our physiologies in the solar plexus, and it's coming up and it's forming together with this sincere desire to produce an effect that's going to bless the microorganisms of our world. And of course, what that does for our physiologies is it brings the energy signature of Agni that's sitting in that warm belt area around the middle of the body where most of the digestion takes place anyway, right? Liver, stomach, spleen, pancreas, etc., gallbladder. And it brings it in alignment with the original energy signature of what is Agni, which is this pure, extremely, extremely pure impulse of enthusiastic application of consciousness to the manifesting process. And I'm seeing the hearts continuing to expand. And it feels like there's, as the hearts expand, and it has this sort of like energy flow behind it, the expansion of sweetness and support for the microorganisms of our world. Again, it's a little bit like the work that we did at the beginning of our session, where we were putting our attention into our safe space. And what that does is it causes a reflective effect. So we're producing collectively, and there are hundreds of people on this live webinar. So even right now in real time, not to mention the thousands that will view it later. So this expansion of pure intention, expression of divine intention for the support of the microbiome of our world, we can call it that, is producing a wave in return from the microorganisms of our world back into the safe space of our healing collective. And it's very interesting what's coming back. What's being returned is on a very subtle level. Of course, they don't speak English, but as it returns, it seems to be not affecting our physical bodies so much, but affecting the body elemental. That's what I'm seeing. It's affecting the body elemental. I don't think I've talked a lot about the body elemental in these live webinars, but it was definitely one of the points that was up for consideration over the last 3 weeks. So I think I might have done a video about it. Anyway, the body elemental is the culmination of all the healing energies in the body when the baby is in the uterus, right? And the placenta is in there. The placenta is like the body of the body elemental. And its job is to support the growth of the physiology in a healthy manner. So mother isn't thinking about growing, oh, look, the taste buds are forming. No, she's just thinking she's tired and she'd like to get the weight off her feet, and could someone bring her some ice cream? So the devas, the intelligences that build the body, stay in the body, and there are many, many of them. And then the overarching intelligence beyond that is the body elemental. And the body elemental has a cord of light, just like we have a cord of, our physical bodies have this cord of light energy that runs through it. So the body elemental does too. And the cord of light for the body elemental is like a shaft of light around our body. The body elemental is a much larger form of intelligence, of consciousness. It's definitely a divine expression of our consciousness. But that shaft of light in which our bodies reside acts like a resonating space for all the light medicines and all the energies that we produce to promote healing for the physiology. So as our hearts are having this lovely expansion, this beautiful intention to promote a healing for the microbiome of the earth, that and the Agni in its original pure form is stabilizing in the solar plexus area of the body. This energy is resonating within the shaft or within the space of the body elemental around our bodies. So what that's doing is the microbiome of our earth is essentially offering all of us directly a healing for our own body elementals. And that's huge, because the body elemental is that energetic structure responsible for our health and well-being. So to upgrade the body elemental means to upgrade the very most fundamental level of our own body's intelligence for healing itself. And that's the gift that's coming back from the microbiome. And to that, I bow deeply to all the microbial forms on earth for offering such a precious gift to all of us and allowing us to participate in their process of being the ground, laying the groundwork for life all over the whole earth, everywhere on earth. And so what's happening as the gratitude starts to filter into this exchange, now we've got a two-way street, guys. We've got an exchange going on between our own selves as humans and the microbial intelligence of Earth. When the gratitude goes into the mix, what that's doing is it's supporting an upgrade for the microbiome in the body. I mean, of course, they were part of the original healing, but we have a very unique and precious relationship with our own body's microbiome that's at a much deeper level of intimacy than our relationship with, say, some microbes that are like at the bottom of the ocean, at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean somewhere or something like that. So this there's an integration. What I'm seeing is an integration is taking place right now between the microbial intelligence within the human body and the microbial intelligence within the larger collective of the earth. And that includes the microbial intelligence within the bodies of many living things, within the bodies of living things and not in the bodies of living things. So we have, it's interesting, it's like our own microbiome becomes a bit of a liaison between us and all the microbial intelligence on Mother Earth. Oh, it's so interesting. So keeping close tabs on our own microbiome is then an essential component to supporting this work, which is at the foundation of building a stronger, basically a stronger physiology for every living thing on Earth. A more resilient, both stronger and more resilient physiology for every living thing on Earth. And I'm seeing that original intention and that flow of the heart is falling back into the field of absolute silence. And I feel like everything that we've done in this healing so far is just being absorbed into the field, into the ocean of the Mother of Creation, into the ocean of absolute divine being. And as this work that we've done is kind of offered into that field of absolute being, it's creating incredible sweetness, incredible, deep, deep, deep comfort, deep comfort. And that's what we are receiving back. That's what's activating at the causal level of our physiologies. If we think about the navigational pathway from our individual human form all the way to the field of absolute being, that finest relative level of the physiology is the causal level. And at that level, this incredible sweetness is present. It's resonating or reverberating. And again, within the space that we would call our bodies, our body elemental. So upgrade for us, upgrade for the body elemental, upgrade for all the cords of light that are running through and through the physiology. I'm seeing this now expanding from the causal level of the body out into all the astral level of ourself and the web of life. Nice. Okay, so this is what's happening. So now these physiologies are acting like conduits. They're acting like instruments of the divine that are able to resonate or reflect this incredible sweetness that came to us offered from the source of creation to the whole field of life. It's just spreading out. It's just spreading out, spreading and spreading. Spreading not just Earth, but it's spreading past Earth, past our atmosphere and past our solar system, and it's able to spread out into the larger expression of the field of life in creation. I think we talked in previous, when we have Jupiter here, we talked in previous webinars about how biological information is actually transferred through our galaxy by comets, because there are certain types of bacteria that can live in outer space for eons, and they get dispersed when the comet comes in and whips around the sun like that. It's got its tail, it's dispersing all this amazing DNA information. Good, beautiful stuff.